Hi everybody, I'm Jenna at Elevations Design Co. I own a floral studio here in the Azle, Weatherford, Texas area. If you've been around my channel for very long, you have probably noticed that I am a gigantic introvert. I love to make pretty content and things like that, but to be perfectly honest, I'm not really on social media for any reasons other than business purposes. And I'm a gigantic introvert. I don't really like to put my face out there, but we're gonna do it today. So here we are. I am doing something completely different today. I have a list of questions that I have been asked or that people just are curious about, and I thought we'd go through them today, which is a little bit different than anything that I have ever done before, so please bear with me. All right, so here we go. This is question and answers with Jenna. That is me, the owner of Elevations Design Co. The first question is, how did you fall in love with flowers? And I have loved flowers pretty much my entire life. So my mom and dad are both from Kansas, and we lived in Kansas for a few years when I was a little girl, and we lived in this little farmhouse far out in the country. It was kind of idyllic, if I'm being honest, other than, you know, we didn't have any mountains or anything there. But around our property, we had peonies and lilac bushes and roses. We had flowers up the wazoo, and I'm telling you, when you walked outside on a spring day or an early summer day, the air was literally filled with the scent of amazing flowers. And I really think that that is probably where my love of flowers really started. Okay, when or how did you get started with your floral studio? Well, it started with a love of flowers, if I'm being honest. I've just always loved flowers. So I did the flowers for my own wedding. I did flowers for friends and family's weddings, and really just kind of helped friends and family out for quite a long time. And then I opened my first floral studio in Colorado, gosh, probably almost 20 years ago now. And really just did flowers freelance, funerals, weddings, small events, things like that. And then I've just done flowers off and on over the last quite a long time now, as I'm thinking about it, probably close to like 20 years. So it has been quite a long time. My husband and I just recently moved back here from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and same. I'm an RN by trade, worked as an executive in North Idaho, but I owned Elevations when we were in Coeur d'Alene and did a lot of elopements, a lot of weddings, micro weddings, special occasions, and funeral flowers. Let's see, I think that's a pretty fair answer. Okay, what makes your floral studio different than other flower shops? That is a really good question. I think my design style is a little bit different. Again, I love flowers, so I'm never gonna shade any flowers. Any flowers are better than no flowers, but my design style is just a little bit different. I tend to like arrangements with a little bit more movement. I like a little different flowers than what you typically find, you know, in a regular arrangement that you pick up at the grocery store or a flower shop. And there's reasons for the flowers that are in arrangements from flower shops, but I would say the other biggest difference that I see, honestly, is that if you're looking to book a wedding, a lot of florists, it is not uncommon to have a $2,500 minimum, a $5,000 minimum. I am not that floral studio at all. I absolutely love doing elopements. I love elopements so much, I eloped myself. So if you are looking to, you know, have beautiful, beautiful flowers, but you're not looking to spend thousands of dollars, I am also a financial coach, and I am here for that. So I want you to have beautiful flowers. I want you to have a gorgeous bouquet, and I want you to have pictures that are gonna last you a lifetime, because at the end of the day, when the cake is eaten and the flowers have wilted and died, what you have left are your pictures. So I do not have a minimum for weddings. If you just, you know, are eloping, you're going the courthouse route, or you are just on a budget and want beautiful flowers, like, I'm here for it. So that's a little different than you'll find in a lot of places. Ooh, I love this one. What is your favorite flower? That is so hard. That's such a hard question for me. And I swear to you, every time I'm designing a new arrangement, oh, I love this one. This one is my favorite. You will hear that so many times. I think my husband just like rolls his eyes at me at this point. But my favorite flowers, I like beautiful flowers, but I love flowers that smell amazing. So I am a gigantic fan of peonies. I mean, who isn't? They're the most requested flower I get asked for. Love them. They smell amazing. They're absolutely beautiful. They're huge. Who doesn't love a peony? English garden roses, that is something you don't actually see very often in the US. There are a lot of kind of hybrids that have a look of an English garden rose, but I am telling you right now, the petals, the smell, to me, it's hard to top an English garden rose. Other flowers that I just love, lilacs, oriental lilies, again, stock. I love stock. Stock, if you don't know what that is, Google it. It looks a lot like a snapdragon. They're simple, they're inexpensive, they smell amazing. I put them in pretty much every single arrangement that I do. Okay. What's the most underrated flower? Y'all, this one is so easy. The carnation! Why all the hate for the carnation? I do not understand it. They are so beautiful. They smell amazing. They come in every color under the rainbow, even variegated colors where they're multicolors or a little bit of stripes. Like, I absolutely love a carnation. They are bomb-proof. They last forever. I do not understand the hate. They are absolutely, hands down, the most underrated flower in my opinion, and I really wish that we could embrace the carnation again. They're lovely. I love them. Ooh, okay, and on the same note, what is the most overrated flower? Ugh. Okay, this one is really hard too. My gut instinct is to go with the orchid. Because they don't really smell much. They are insanely expensive, but they're so beautiful. They really are beautiful. And while one stem is incredibly expensive, you can actually break off the flowers and kind of infuse them into a bouquet or something and kind of get a little bit of bang for your buck. So I don't really think it's fair to say that the orchid is the most overrated. I guess I'll just throw one out that I'm not a big fan of, and I hope I don't get a ton of hate for this. I do not love baby's breath, gypsophilia. It is popular right now. You find it in a lot of like the boho style bouquets and arrangements. It is definitely a light and airy filler flower. I'm just not super crazy about it, but it is so easy to design with, and I love that you all love baby's breath. Okay, what do we have now? Ooh, what are we seeing trending in weddings right now? I think we're actually still seeing a lot of quality over quantity. We're seeing a lot more small events. Again, a lot of micro weddings, a lot more elopements where people are just skipping the fuss and the muss and getting a bouquet and a boutonniere and doing something simple and beautiful. I think people are really embracing like relationships with their family and friends. And they're just skipping a lot of the traditional like, oh, you've got to have this type of a thing. What is one piece of advice that you have for brides? I think that you need to choose what is the most important to you and invest in that. And I think I said this earlier, you know, at the end of the day, what you're gonna have from your day are the pictures. So, you know, invest in the pieces that are going to really show up on your pictures. I would say, you know, do a couple statement pieces somewhere where your ceremony is. I would invest in the blooms for your bouquet, but honestly, you know, you're not gonna go back and probably look at pictures of all of your bridesmaids' bouquets, right? Like that's a panned out picture with, you know, people kind of holding their bouquets from a distance, but what you are going to see and what is going to show up in all of your pictures are going to be like your bridal bouquet. So I would say if you have a favorite flower, like I get asked for the peony all the time, and sadly most people feel that it just doesn't work with their budget, but they come in bunches of 5. And if you can wiggle a bunch of peonies, one bunch of peonies into your budget, put them in your bridal bouquet, maybe put a couple of them on your cake or somewhere that you are going to have the pictures. You can still have the thing that you love the most, but I would not personally be investing in very expensive bougie blooms in your bridesmaids bouquets. What is the hardest thing to design? Blue! Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm almost to the point where when people tell me, okay, well, what are your colors? And they say blue, that I'm just like, oh my gosh. Blue is beautiful. I hear you. I hear you all day long. Blue is absolutely lovely. It's a classic wedding color, it is. But blue is so hard to find in naturally occurring flowers. And at my studio, I'm not tinting flowers. We're not doing any of that. I like natural flowers, and I am really limited to a little bit of delphinium, some blue thistle, or maybe some hydrangeas, but there's some early spring flowers too, like muscari, that can be really super pretty too. But I have done weddings for people where the flowers come in and they are just not up to par. And that is really hard to work around and deliver, what a person's asking for. So while they are lovely, I would suggest, if blue is your color, my suggestion would be to kind of lean a little bit more heavily on like whites, and then use the decor for your blues. Go with, a beautiful hand-tied silk ribbon or something along those lines. But blue, oh my gosh, y'all, blue, like don't even get me started on blue. Let's see here. What is your favorite thing to design? I love elopements. Again, I love elopements so much that I eloped myself. I love elopement couples. I love the way they feel. They are just a little bit free and happy and a lot less stress. I love doing a couple of just beautiful, like knock your socks off statement pieces, a bouquet and a boutonniere, and out the door, few blooms on your cake or your, cupcakes or your donuts or whatever you've got. But I absolutely love elopements. And the other thing that I really love to design for are funerals, actually. I absolutely love designing beautiful sprays for caskets and things like that. So that's something you don't hear very often, and I'm not sure if it's the nurse in me, but it is just such an honor to be able to design something beautiful for families to honor their loved one who's passed away. All right, let's see here. We've got some just kind of fun ones here. Favorite band. Oh, I love music. This is like, what's your favorite flower for me? This one is so hard to answer. I seriously like all kinds of music. When I'm working out, I can be a hip hop or punk rock gangster. I like to listen to light classical music or piano jazz when I really need to concentrate and think. And then bands, just like bands that I love. Okay, local band, Shane Smith and the Saints, all day, every day. Love Shane Smith and have loved them for 1,000 years. I'm gonna have to go with the Lumineers, Gregory Alan Isakov, and Zach Bryan. And we actually saw the Lumineers at the Gorge in Washington State a few years ago on my birthday, and that was the best concert I have ever been to. Hands down, magical event, cannot recommend enough. All right, and I think we are down to the last one, favorite TV show. Ugh, this one's also hard. I love the British royal family. So if you spend very much time around me, you'll probably hear facts about the British royal family. I love The Crown. I love Ted Lasso season 1. I love The Big Bang Theory. And I think shout out to the oil field. My husband's worked in the oil field for years. The oil field has literally put food on our table for years. I'm gonna have to go with landman on this one. Okay, is that all the questions that we have for right now? One more. How has your design style evolved over the years? You know, when I first started doing this 20 years ago, wedding bouquets were a tight ball, and they have now evolved into these big, light and airy, like a little bit wild, more of a hand-tied garden style bouquet. And I'm here for it. That's really pretty. That's really, really pretty. So that has changed over the years, just like industry-wide. And I think probably because of that, my personal style has also evolved a little bit over the years, where I gravitate towards a little bit of a more light and airy design style. I like beautiful greenery and different varieties. I love flowers that have a little bit of movement. You know, when I say that, I think like ranunculus or sweet peas or something like that, just like little dancers in there. So I would say that that's probably how my design style has evolved over the years. Also probably the flowers that I love, like peonies, of course. Again, me, you, everybody, we all love peonies. But I would also say probably like the English garden roses have been something that I have just absolutely fallen in love with over the last 5 to 6 years probably. I just cannot overstate like how lovely they are. I love them so much. So anyways, this has actually been kind of fun. If you have questions, if you want to do a Q&A, I am here for it. Just message me on Facebook or Instagram, shoot me an email, and we will do this again. This has been kind of fun. Again, I'm Jenna with Elevations Design Co. If you have flowers, want to work with me, working with me is super easy. Just head over to the website, jennadowell, DOWELL.com. Easy peasy. Thanks so much and have a blessed day.